Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Miss Crochet and Coffee here. And today is another whip and chat, except for we're diamond painting. So get out whatever it is you're working on. Diamond painting, cross stitch, beaded cross stitch, coloring, whittling, I don't care. Get out whatever you're crafting on and craft along with me as I tell you some stories from how my week has been going. And we just chitter-chatter, flap all gums, y'all. I mean, we're just going to do it up. We're going to do what we do. We're going to do what we do. So how are you today? Are you having a great day? Did you tell yourself something nice today? We're always so mean. You ever notice that? Okay, we're going to start this off really weird. Do you ever notice how you are quick to tell your friends when they're like, they're feeling down and they're, oh, I'm the biggest piece of crap, and you're like, no, you're not. You're an amazing person. Like, you will straight up go like postal on your friends if they say something bad about themselves, but you're so quick to be like, I'm a worthless piece of crap. You gotta say something nice to yourself every day. Take up that challenge. Try to take a day and say something nice to yourself. Just, hey, I like my hair today. You look good today. I try to say something nice to myself at least once a day because, we all suffer from mental illness in one way or another. And even if you don't, to keep yourself from suffering from mental illness, it's never bad to say something nice about yourself. Plus, there's always something nice you can say about yourself, but you'll be quick to say something nasty about yourself. So say something nice to yourself today. Be nice to you. You deserve it. Unless you're a crappy person, then you don't deserve it, but you should still do it anyway, so you deserve it. So, with that said, hopefully you guys are having a wonderful week. Do keep in mind, I do record these on Wednesdays, and then you guys see them on Thursday. So if I reference something and you're like, Miss Coffee, what are you talking about? I already saw that. That's because I record on Wednesdays to go up on Thursday. I like this format. I like doing whipping chats on Monday and Wednesday. It might seem like it's too close together to some people, because I was actually thinking about moving the whipping chat until Saturday, but then I was like, I like it on during the week, like right before live. Because I thought, that would be a lot after a 3-hour live and then you get an hour whipping chat. Like, good gravy. Either way, hopefully you're having a wonderful day. I'm having a great day. My tooth hurts, though. Like, I got another piece of my wisdom tooth is getting ready to come out. And I need to call the dentist because at this point, I'm just tired of it. My wisdom teeth come out on their own, but essentially they crack and then come out in pieces. It usually doesn't hurt, but this one hurts. So I'm worried that I might get an infection in my tooth. So I am going to call the dentist and see if they can do something about this. Because, I don't want to pay $2,000 for them to put me under to take it out. But I also don't want to sit there and listen to them take it out either. Because, no, that's not happening. So, yeah. As you can see, I am not in jail. I survived Mr. Coffee's birthday. Going to jail doesn't have anything really to do with Mr. Coffee's birthday, as it does with going to parent-teacher conferences. All right, so first things first. Let me tell you how yesterday went, because yesterday was Mr. Coffee's birthday. Tuesday, November 5th was Mr. Coffee's birthday. So I get the kids off to school. Mr. Coffee, leaves for work before the kids even wake up, so I don't have to deal with that train wreck. And by train wreck, I mean the kids being like, Daddy, no, don't go. Mr. Coffee's been working a couple of late days, so every day this week so far, he has been home at 10:30, which kind of sucks because, we'll go into that here in a few minutes. But I get the kids off to school, get the dogs out, come back, and I decide, you know what, I'm going to get a shower, which I don't know why I got a shower before I cleaned the house. But that's my brain. We're not going to talk about it. So I was like, I'm going to get a shower. But first, the night before, my new jacket broke. You heard right. I was jacked. I was like, what the I paid $200 for this jacket and the zipper broke. Now, if you have any handy tips on how to fix a zipper, please feel free to share. There was a tag on the jacket and it got caught in the zipper. When I took it out, the zipper broke. It essentially won't stay on track. And then when it does, it doesn't zip the jacket. So I tried tightening the thing where that clamps the teeth together, and that didn't work. And then We probably sat out here for an hour trying to figure out a way to get this zipper to work because I love that jacket. I really love that jacket. We could not get the zipper to work. So I was like, F this. I haven't had this jacket a month and the thing's already, like, the zipper already broke. Now, I got the jacket from a place called Finger Hut. You might know it. If not, you probably live out of country. It's a crappy, it's like the AliExpress of random crap, okay? It's a company that essentially sells a bunch of China stuff at, you know, jacked up prices. But when you're 6'1" and you don't really have a choice and a whole lot of, you know, choices for stores, I went to JCPenney's to try on jackets, and you must be 5'5" to fit anything in there. So that wasn't going to work. So I ordered the jacket from a place called Finger Hut. Now, I've never dealt with Finger Hut. I remember my parents dealing with them when I was little, but I don't remember their experience with Finger Hut. Plus, you know how long ago that was? So I figured, you know, I'll contact Finger Hut and see if I can get it replaced. So I sent them an email just to get a reply thing back that says, oh, it'll give us 2 days to respond. I'm like, 2 days? What the? No, I'm not giving you 2 days to respond. Are you joking me? It's snowing now. I want my jacket and I want it now. Like, I was all kinds of upset, and I'm just like, no, I'm not waiting 2 days. So the next morning after I got the kids to school and the dogs out, when I came back, I was like, okay, I'm going to get a shower. So I go turn the shower on. I start getting undressed and stuff. And then I remembered, oh, hold on, call Finger Hut. Let's see if they can replace this jacket. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Finger Hut. And of course, you know, when you got to go through the phone to do these things, it's going to be a minute. Well, I at this point have forgotten that I had turned the shower on to get ready to get in the shower. Luckily, we don't pay for water. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. Just going to push these over. There we go. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. I also was going to clean the house because I wanted to make sure the house was nice and clean for Mr. Coffee's birthday. Not that he would notice, but, you know, for my own sanity reasons, I was going to clean the house. It gave me an excuse to deep clean the house again. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Finger Hut, and they keep putting me on hold and coming back and asking me questions and putting me on hold and coming back and asking me questions. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is going to take all flipping day. I got stuff to do. It was snowing outside as, you know, I'm talking to them, and I literally tell the lady, you know, I don't have, you know, weeks or months to wait for this. Like, it's literally snowing outside right now. And the lady's like, oh, and they give you that, oh, there's nothing more infuriating than when you call a company and they're like, I'm so sorry. I can completely understand. No, you can't. No, you can't. No, you can't. Stop saying that. No. I know that's your script and you're supposed to be, you know, nice and whatever, but it's annoying. Stop it. I don't like it. Makes me uncomfortable. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to the lady, and I got a call from Mr. Coffee, and I'm thinking, well, I can't answer his call because I'm on the phone with Finger Hut. So, like, I'll call him back. So I ignore it. Then my sister tries to video chat me, and I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, people, why is my sister video chatting me now? And I forgot that my brother, his girlfriend, I guess, she was having twins yesterday, which was Tuesday, November 5th. She was having twins, so she was having a C-section, and my sister was calling me so I could see them. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm on the phone right now. I love my brother, but yeah, we're not going to talk about that. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay. All I want to do is get the replacement for the current jacket that I have. Just send me out one that looks exactly like it, same price and everything, and then I will send you the defective jacket. Because the lady sat there and she tried acting as if she had never heard of a zipper coming off a jacket, and she's just like, oh, the zipper came off. Wow. Really? No, I'm just, you know, over here riding unicorns and farting glitter. Yes, really. So she's like, well, let me see no, I'm sorry. First it was a guy. And he's like, well, let me see what I can do for you. You could replace the frickin' jacket. Because I'm sorry, I'm not going to pay you $200 for something that I can't even wear. You guys, these blacks are horrible. They have a lot of knobbly bits on them. I already told Diamond Art Club, but this is still a pain in the tuchus. But yeah, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, just all you have to do is go into your computer and send me out something that looks exactly like what I ordered. And so they go to set me up with the exchange. But they essentially, because if you know Fingerhut, they go off based off your credit. And I only had like a $400 credit with them. I didn't need anything huge. And so I'm sitting there, and they go off they go off what you have as credit left on your account. And I had like $170 some odd left on the account. So they're like, okay, what we can do is exchange it for you. So we'll charge the jacket to your account, but it'll overdraw the balance on your account. Because I only had $171 in there, and it's a $200 jacket, and you got to pay for shipping. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I can hear you yelling at me. And shipping? And shipping. But when I ordered my jacket, I got $15 off for a promotional code. So I was like, oh, well, can you at least give me the promotional code so that it's the exact same amount as the first jacket I purchased? And the guy goes, well, what do you mean? I'm like, I'm sorry. Am I talking in Spanish? Am I crying in Spanish? And there goes Killian again. He's never more thirsty than when I'm recording a video. I'm telling you. Notice he stopped. Oh, nope, I lied. That was Daisy. Oh, Killian's over here knocking the table over that way. Hey, either way, Daisy's just as thirsty. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, you know, okay. Which, by the way, I kind of misplaced my 15 placer, and I'm a little sad. And actually, I'm going to take a second to see if I can find it. Give me one sec. Okay, so I couldn't find the 15 placer that Shine Like a Diamond sent me, but she did send me extras. So if you would like to get some multi-placers, she has like 1 through, she has 3 through 15. I will link her Shine shop on Etsy down below in the description box. If I ever mention a particular shop that I got something from, I will always link it down in the description box. Like the Hello Kitty Minder and this Dazzle Minder thing of doodle here, that came from the Storm Studio. No Drama, I believe, came from Shine Like a Diamond. I can't remember where that one came from. And then the Basin came from Shine Like a Diamond also. So I will link Storm's sister studios and Shine Shop down in the description box. They have some great selections on accessories. So yeah, what was I talking about? Fingerhut? Alright. So yeah, so I'm on the phone with Fingerhut. But then I was like, oh, looking at the floor, there's dog fur all over the floor because I have dogs. So I was like, well, let me sweep that up while I am on the phone with Fingerhut because, you know, I like to try to multitask and I hadn't had my coffee yet. For those of you who don't know, I have bipolar type 1 and it makes you super energetic. I actually use the coffee to calm myself down. And no, it's not the decaf. I don't do decaf. I'm not a quitter. But yeah, I use coffee to calm myself down. And I hadn't had any coffee yet. So I was on the phone and anxious because I just wanted them to send me out a replacement jacket so I didn't freeze to death. Because, again, it was snowing. And then I now don't have a winter jacket. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to the lady or the guy. He's getting all my information. He comes back on and I'm in the middle of sweeping the floor. And I have him, like, on speaker while I'm walking around sweeping. And he keeps going on and on and on and on about, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to send you out another jacket. We're going to charge your account, but it's going to put it in the, it's going to go past your credit limit on your account. So what we're going to do is we're going to mess up your credit score a little bit, but we'll refund you the money as soon as you send back the other jacket. And I'm like, hold up, did you just slide right past that? Like, did you say you're going to mess up my credit? And he's like, yeah, what'll end up happening is it'll show that you went over your allotted balance. So essentially it would be like as if, I went over the balance on my credit card. But he's like, but it's okay because when you send us back the jacket, we will go ahead and refund you the money to put back on your account. I'm like, well, then will it show up positive on my credit report that I, got that credit and stuff? Will it be positive on my credit report since apparently it's going to be negative for me, or it's going to show up negatively on my credit score because of it going over because of getting the replacement? And he goes, oh, no. He goes, it'll just be negative. It'll show that, you went over your balance or whatever, and that's it. Like, there's no good that can come from this. It's just, let's mess up your credit score and we're going to send you out a new jacket. And I'm like, well, I don't want to mess up my whole credit score for a $200 shitty jacket. Like, what the hell? So I was like, no. And he's like, well, and he tried to charge me full price for the jacket, like full price for the shipping and handling and the jacket. And I was like, well, what happened to my credit? Like, I got $15 off the first jacket, and if we're just exchanging it, can I get the same credit? And then he starts talking about a catalog code, because they still use catalogs. So he's like, do you have the catalog code that you use? And I'm like, catalog? What the hell are you? I'm like, I didn't use a catalog. I bought it offline. He goes, oh, that might be a problem. I'm like, why? You can look at my account and see that I used a discount. He goes, yeah, but I can't apply that discount. It was already used. Yeah, okay. Is there another discount you can give, seeing as how the jacket was defective? And he's like, no. He's like, you'll have to pay full price. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening. What the hell? I'm like, this isn't even my fault. Why am I being charged and my credit score being messed up for you guys sending me out a defective jacket? And he goes, ma'am, I'm going to put you on hold and see what I can do. He hangs up. Apparently he couldn't do much. So then he didn't really hang up, as it transferred me over to somebody else. The lady gets on the phone and I'm like, what happened to the guy I was just talking to? And she goes, guy? I'm like, did he hang up on me? And she goes, oh my gosh, I hope not. I'm so sorry. And I'm like, what the hell? So I had to go through the whole rigmarole with this woman. But she actually seemed a lot nicer, and like she actually wanted to help. She was able to get me my discount, get the jacket sent out to me, told me to just make sure I send back the other jacket so they can credit my account. I paid the shipping and handling, out of pocket, so it didn't overdraft the Fingerhut account. But we got it all situated. Well, as I'm getting it all situated, I hear my front door start opening. Now, remember, I'm sweeping the floor. I was also getting ready to get in the shower. So at this point, I don't have on pants. Don't judge what I do. If I want to clean in my shirt and underwear, I will clean in my shirt and underwear. But I'm sitting there in my shirt and pant, or my shirt and my underwear, and I'm like, who the hell's coming into my house? And it's not like I really had a spot on my person, as they would say. There wasn't really a spot on me that I could carry like a weapon of some sort, like, unless my butt would be considered a weapon and I could like use the fiery flames of my farts to protect myself. There was nothing to help me here. I have a broom. I'm right next to the door, and I'm like, who is coming in my house? And at first I thought it was the complex, but I know that they are not supposed to enter your house without, some kind of warning. But in my brain at that time, wasn't, of course, thinking logically. So it's like, why are they coming into my house? Maybe they didn't think I was home. And it's funny how quick these stupid little thoughts go through your head. And then you realize that they're just stupid little thoughts. Well, the door opens, and I pick up the broom like I'm getting ready to hit somebody with it. And it's Mr. Coffee. And he's looking at me, and he's like, what? I have so many questions. And I'm like, questions about what? I have questions too. What the hell are you doing here? Now, again, Mr. Coffee rarely ever comes home after leaving for work. He's done it maybe once or twice since we've lived here, and usually it's to come grab snacks or something for the road, or to pretty much grab snacks, like, or eat lunch. Like, he came home, last week, and had lunch with me. So I was just kind of sitting here like, yeah, what is you doing here? And he's like, okay, I tried calling you to let you know that I was coming to get, he had to get some cold weather gear because he was getting sent out on the road again. Because the night before he had been sent out on the road and was out there all day and froze because he didn't have his cold weather gear, which is just like his bibs, his work bibs, which are like overalls. So I'm sitting there and he's like, okay, so now answer my question. Why don't you have on pants? And why are you sweeping the floor? And he knew I was sweeping because there was like a little pile of trash right in front of me. My plan in my head, I had it all planned out. I was going to hit the person with the broomstick, right? And then once I hit them with the broomstick and they were, you know, trying to comfort themselves from mending their wounds from the hellacious blow from the broomstick, I was then going to kick some of the dog fur dust into their face. And then I was going to peace out down the hallway. And then I realized it was Mr. Coffee and all plans were averted. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, I was getting ready to get into the shower. And then the customer service lady comes back on the phone. He goes, who the hell is that? I'm like, oh, it's Fingerhut. I'm trying to get my jacket replaced. And he's like, what do you do when I'm not here? I'm like, apparently lots of things. And he's like, I know you don't like wearing pants, honey, but you're going to clean in your underwear? I'm like, why not? Why are you judging me in all my life choices? Like, why can't I clean in my underwear? If this is my happy spot, and as long as the house is clean, what does it matter when I'm cleaning in? Who says you have to be fully clothed to clean your house? He just kind of looks at me and shakes his head and walks to the bedroom and gets his work bibs, goes to the bathroom, comes out, shakes his head again. And he goes, why is the shower running? I'm like, I just told you I was getting ready to get in the shower. Did you honestly think I was just walking around in my underwear cleaning? And he goes, do I really need to answer that? You know what? He's just, the look on his face was like, he couldn't believe that I was just standing there in my underwear sweeping the floor. And I'm like, well, I was trying to be, you know, productive while I was on hold with Fingerhut and do something that I knew I had to do anyways. And he was like, there's ways to do things, dear, but I don't, you know, he's like, I'm just going to leave it. And I'm like, thank you. Let me live my life. Stop judging me and all my damn life choices. So then I get him out the door. I finish sweeping the floor. Just for Killian to go back over there and scratch and shake and all that fun doggy stuff and put a bunch of more dog fur on the floor. But I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. I gotta, it's Mr. Coffee's birthday, so I'm like, yesterday was my busy day. I got no crafting done at all, which makes me anxious because I got no me time. Technically I did, but during the me time, I just sat and watched TV because Little Mermaid on Ice or Little Mermaid Live was on, and I wanted to watch it. And I even got Maggie to watch it. Ryan didn't seem to care too much. But I was like, okay, so here's my day. I need to get up, get the kids out to school, get the dogs out, clean the house, get a shower, go out to the store, get a gift for Mr. Coffee, get a cake of some sort, come back, but before I leave the house, I got to also put the pot roast on because I'm still trying to learn how to use this damn Instapot, and it is not going well. I either undercook everything or burn the crap out of everything. There's no happy in between. I wish there was a happy in between. There's no happy in between. So I had to put the pot roast on, then go out and get all the stuff that I needed for, like, I got him some cupcakes. Got him a little teddy bear to go with a birthday card, which I think is the first time in 10 years I've ever bought Mr. Coffee a birthday card. Again, Mr. Coffee doesn't like celebrating his birthday, and usually because he makes my birthday such a horrible experience, I don't usually do anything for his birthday. Oh, don't worry, this year was no different. My birthday was still awful. But, I wanted to get him a birthday card. So I got him a birthday card and a little teddy bear, and I was like, now, gift-wise, unless it's hella expensive, I'm like, I know he's not going to use it. So I was like, you know, that only leaves one thing, which is like snacks. So I'm like, what can I get him? I'm like, maybe I should get him his favorite chips and dip. And I was like, no, that's stupid. I'm like, you know, and I'm going through my mind trying to figure out exactly what I want to get him. Couldn't figure out anything. And as I'm walking, I'm like, okay, well, I still need to go out to the store to get a couple of things. I meant to check the P.O. box. I didn't. I was too lazy. It was cold. You will find that out. Well, you have already found that out because what you got Wednesday would have been up already by now. And again, special thank you to Becky's Madness for Crafting for sending me all that stuff. That's awesome. So yeah, so I had all this stuff to do. I also had to go pick up prescriptions at the pharmacy for Maggie because she's almost out of medicine, and every month, you know, we have to refill it at the beginning of the month. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, let's see. Where do I start? One, I had zero energy because I hadn't had any coffee. Well, out of nowhere, I'm sitting here and I get in the shower. And now, again, when I get in the shower, I hate it. I don't like being wet. So, when I get in, I then don't want to get out because I know it's going to be cold. Like, I need to put a heater or something in my bathroom so that when I get out of the shower, it's like all nice and warm and toasty. Because I freaking can't stand being cold, let alone cold and wet. No. Shoot me. No. So, I pretty much sat in the shower, you know, going over in my head what all I needed to do so I didn't forget. Because I know me and I would forget. So I was like, you know, what do you need to do? You need to do this, you need to do that, you need to do this, you need to do that. And, oh, that one's supposed to be there. This one isn't supposed to be there. So, I get out of the shower, and I go, okay, start cleaning. Nope. Didn't feel like cleaning. I know. I thought the same thing. What? Am I sick? Didn't feel like cleaning. So, I was like, you know what? Fine. Muck it. I'll go to the store. So, I decided to go to the store first, before I started cleaning, and get the things that I need. So, I go over to Walmart. And I get myself a couple of new pairs of sweatpants. And this is why Mr. Coffee doesn't let me go to the store. So I got myself a couple new pairs of sweatpants, a new hat. Partially because I have misplaced the slouchy beanie I made for myself. I misplaced it. So now I was like, I need a new good hat. So I got myself, you know, a new hat, some sweatpants. I got Maggie a shirt, and again, this is why Mr. Coffee doesn't like me going to the store. By the time I checked out, I'd realized that I didn't get not one thing for him. I got stuff for everybody else in the house except for him. I even got the dog's dog treats. Didn't get nothing for him. So I had to go back into the store to go try to figure out something to get for Mr. Coffee. Well, I saw the cute little teddy bear, and I was like, oh, I'm getting him the teddy bear. I don't care. I'm like, it's either going to be a teddy bear or flowers, and I think he'd feel less emasculated or whatever you want to call it if I got him the bear versus if I got him some flowers. So I was like, okay, win-win, I got him the bear. Plus, he likes bears. And then I'm like, okay, I wanted to replace the tape measure, because if you remember from my whip and chat earlier this week, I think I might have mentioned that I washed his tape measure and ruined it. Well, I wanted to get him a replacement tape measure, but it was cold, and I didn't want to be outside long, and I knew if it was, you know, too cold that I wouldn't want to be outside long. Plus, I already had another store to stop at, and had to be back to my house by 11 o'clock for the Schwann's Guy, because the Schwann's Guy comes every other week on Tuesday. So, yesterday was my Schwann's Day, or Tuesday was my Schwann's Day, and so I needed to make sure I was back at home. Well, I looked at the clock when I got back into the store, and it was already 10 o'clock. And I was like, okay, this shouldn't take too long. I can pick up something for him quick. And then I can run over to Albertsons, get Maggie's medication, and then run home and beat the Schwann's Guy here. Luckily, I didn't beat him here, but he got here at the exact same time I did. So essentially all I had to do was grab my stuff and go, because I pre-ordered. So I didn't have to really worry about pulling out a credit card or anything. So yeah, so he I got my Schwans. I got Mr. Coffee his stuff. I got Maggie her medicine, and I was still looking for stuff. And then I was like, you know, I need to get him a gift of some sort, but I don't want to make a big deal out of it because he always says, you know, I go over into, like, I'm like, you should expect this by now. Like, do you not know who your wife is? Of course I'm going to make your birthday a big thing. Of course I'm going to be extra about it. This is what I do. You should know me by now. He personally doesn't like celebrating his birthday, but he says he doesn't care if I, you know, do whatever for it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to do whatever for it because why wouldn't you want to celebrate your birthday? I think it's the whole aging thing gets to him because he's always been told that he looks young, and now he actually looks like a grown man and not like a prepubescent teenager. So I think getting old bothers him because he gets into like a little depression about it. And yes, for those of you who didn't know, Mr. Coffee does suffer from depression sometimes. It's, of course, a very mild case. Like, you know, when he does, he's like a Ryan. He won't tell you anything's wrong, but it's written all over his face, and you can tell something's up. And then he'll get in his feelings about it. So, yeah. So, he messaged me all day making jokes, essentially, about me being naked. Or not naked, but me not having on pants. And I'm like, I don't know why this is so shocking to you. I'm like, again, do you not know who I am? Of course I don't have on pants. I'm like, plus, if nothing else, that just means I won't get dog fur on my pants. So, I get his stuff, come back, get the stuff from Schwann's, sit down, talk to my dad, because my dad made the trip to South Carolina Tuesday. And yes, he did make it there safely. He went to go see his new grandchildren, because, again, my brother-girlfriend thing just had twins. So he wanted to go see the babies, and then he was helping my sister with moving. And I'm like, of course you would get the one guy with the one good knee to come help you move. Like, my dad should not be helping anybody move. So that kind of, I'm not going to say it irritates me. It kind of peeves me a little bit that, you know, he's down there to help someone move. And I'm like, you are in no state to be helping somebody move. But it's his world. He do what he do. He a grown man. He can take care of himself. So, yeah, and he went without my mom or my sister's kids. So he's just enjoying the freedom and the quiet right now. So, yeah, so I talked to my dad for a little bit while he was driving. And then I decided at 12:30, you know what, I need to get off my ass and get cleaning. Because I'm not going to get the house clean. And then I'm going to make excuses as to, oh, well, you can clean it tomorrow. You can clean it tomorrow. How many of us do that? You can clean it tomorrow. You can clean it tomorrow. And then tomorrow never comes. So I was like, let me get off my tail and clean this house. So I got up, re-swept the floor because I had forgotten that I had swept it earlier that morning. And whenever I leave the house to go do stuff, I get extremely exhausted. And it's because I don't leave the house very often. When I say I don't leave the house often, I might leave this house, besides taking the kids to school and walking dogs, I might actually leave the house to go do something once or twice a month. That's it. And that's pushing it, because I've gone 3 months and not left this house. Well, minus the, you know, taking the kids to school thing. So I got up, started cleaning, and I got a message, and I was like, well, who's this message from? It's from the mailman telling me that he had some packages for me. So I was like, oh, sweet, packages. And I completely forgot that I had ordered 2 of the clearance kits from Diamond Art Club. And I was like, oh, yay, now I don't have to chase you down this week for, you know, the other, because that's the only other package I knew that was coming to me was the package from Diamond Art Club. Becky had mentioned the day before, which was Monday, about the package she sent me, but I was like, I don't have no package. It was supposed to be here Friday. It got here Tuesday. I'm like, welcome to the Postal Service, and it's only going to get worse from here because now starts Christmas. So you got everybody and their mama handing out Christmas cards, which I have the 6-pack of Diamond Art Club Christmas cards that I will be showing you guys at some point. I don't know why I haven't showed them yet. It's usually because by the time I'm done with the whipping chat, I'm tired. Or by the time I'm done recording 6 or 7 videos on unboxings or little tools or what have you. I'm tired, so I just don't. Anywho, so yeah, so I got the message from the mailman, and I was like, okay, I'll take a break from cleaning, take the trash out, because it stinks to high heaven. So I'll take the trash out, and I'll go grab my packages. So I go grab my packages from the mailman, come back, clean up some more, and then after I cleaned up, I walk the dogs, because I have to walk them before I go pick up the kids from school. So I walk the dogs. Killian, in the dog park that we go to, there's gates. There's one to the back of the field and one to the front. Now, oh, why is that way over? You know what? We're just going to put it right here. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. So, I get the mail from the mailman, come back and go, okay, I have, or no, past that part, we were at the dog park. So, there's 2 gates you can go in. The back gate, which usually only gets open by the guys that cut the grass there because they can't fit it in the other side, so they have to fit it in the back of the gate because it has a double door, so it opens up wide enough for the riding lawnmower to get in there. And then the other side is just, you know, for you to go in and walk your dogs. It all connects to the same spot, so some people will use the back gate, especially if they're walking up from the behind the dog field or the dog, you know what I mean, the thing-a-doodle. Either way, so I'm sitting there, and Killian, and like I said, it had snowed. Killian's sitting there in the dog park. I'm thinking he's eating dog poop. He's finding little chunks of ice and chewing on them. Yes, my dog. Does anybody else's dog chew ice? Now, I know I eat ice. And if I have a cup of ice and he sees it, Killian will come over and beg for the ice. So, he does eat ice cubes. So, like I said, I thought he was eating dog poop. Here, he's eating ice cubes. And I'm like, yelling at him. But the problem is, when Killian is at the dog park, he is in play mode. There is no getting him out of play mode. And if you want something from him, and you go close to him, he will run. He will not, like, run out of the dog park or anything. But he'll run around the dog park because he doesn't want you to take his precious things. So, when he started chewing on the ice, I tried yelling at him to put it down. I was like, leave it. Like, they have the command, leave it. Which, you know, just normally means if I see them sniffing at something that they shouldn't be sniffing at or trying to eat something, I will tell them to leave it and they won't touch it. So, I'm sitting there, and I'm telling him to leave it, and I'm chasing him around the dog park. And all I can think of is, please don't let me slip and fall. And because, of course, even though most dogs that come in there pee in the 4 corners of the dog park, I'm like, my luck, I would slide and fall in dog poop. So, please don't let me fall. So, I eventually stopped chasing Killian, because I was like, I'm not trying to fall in dog poop. And then he comes up behind me, bites me in the butt. Now, because I didn't have my new jacket on, my new jacket covers my butt all the way down to, like, almost my knees. So, because he thought I was, like, wasn't trying to play with him, he bites me in the butt. To which I then start trying to chase him again, because, ow, it freaking hurt. And he doesn't bite, he, like, nips at you. Because he wants to play. And for some reason, Daisy will not play if there's not, like, there was snow, but not a lot of it. But if there was a lot of snow, Daisy will play in it. If there's only a little bit of snow, no, Daisy has no time. So, like, Daisy was sitting over by the gate because she was ready to go. Meanwhile, I'm still chasing Killian around the park, the dog park. And this went on for a good, I want to say, probably 10 minutes. Essentially, I was playing tag with Killian. Because at some point, I realized he wasn't even chewing on anything anymore. But every time I would stop running, he would come up and nip at me. So then I would start running after him again. It's a hot mess. Well, I finally got done with the dogs at the dog park. I walked them back home. I come back. I go, okay, I need to get changed so that I can go meet the kids as teachers. So for those of you wondering how the parent-teacher conferences went, they went great. The principal did sit in on my conversation with Orion's teacher. Now, a lot of you had the same reaction I did. You were upset to hear that Orion's teacher was being kind of douchey, as I would like to call it. So I had the principal sit in on that conversation because I wanted both of them to hear how her actions have impacted my son. So that, and to make sure I didn't throat chop, the teacher, because throat chops are universal. They are one size fits all, folks, because, that's a thing. So I'm sitting there and I'm talking to Orion's teacher, and she's telling me how great he's doing, and he's a joy to have in class, and he's one of the smartest in the class. And I'm like, well, that's funny, because you sending home nasty notes all the time telling me that my son is not going to be able to go to the academy. And I just realized when I was talking about it in my last video, I didn't explain. The academy is essentially a workshop that they do every Friday at the school in the library for a select few kids with really good grades. You have to keep your grades up to go. And they do all kinds of weird, cool technology, sciencey stuff. So when she threatens him with that, that's like his favorite thing, because he gets to, tinker around with, like, they made a robot out of a tin can last time. So he loves going. So I explained to her how her actions were affecting Orion and how he was getting anxiety and waking up in the middle of the night to make sure he has all his papers in his book bag. And the sad part is, she goes, well, why doesn't he just, check it in the morning? I'm like, because he does. But he also checks it at night because he's so riddled with anxiety that you've created, that he is afraid that if he makes one mistake, that he will not be able to go to the academy. And the principal goes, hold up, what? I'm like, oh, yeah. And I told Orion to come here, and I showed her the Orion's agenda. Now, the school, sorry, I'm looking for a symbol. The school has, for the third graders, they have agendas. Essentially, it comes home every night. You sign it to say that you saw it, to make sure there was no papers you needed to sign or anything like that. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, let me show you. So I pull out Orion's agenda and show her how every week, at least twice a week, she was saying that Orion wouldn't be able to go to the academy. And she looks at the teacher, and she's just kind of like, why would you do that? Why are you doing this to a student? And she goes, because it motivates him. It motivates him. And she's like, I'm trying to keep him motivated, because Orion will rush through stuff and not read the directions. And then when he messes up, he beats himself up over it. She goes, I was just trying to motivate him. She apologized because she, one, she was wrong. Two, because she was like, I never intended on creating any kind of anxiety with him. I really apologize. And I'm like, I'm not the one I would like to hear an apology. I want you to apologize to my son, because my son is the one that is paranoid that he can't go to the academy every time he does something wrong. My son is the one waking up in the middle of the night checking his backpack to make sure his homework is in there. I'm like, you've done this to my son, so I believe you owe him an apology. And the principal's like, I think she's right. So we had Orion come over, and he's standing there, and he's almost in tears because he's, like, embarrassed, and Orion doesn't like to have the spotlight on him. So, like, he was all kinds of upset, and he's like, I just really like the academy. And he goes, I'm not rushing through my work, I promise. It's just really easy. And then, of course, they give me that, well, has he been tested to be moved up a grade? And I'm like, no, and I don't want him tested, because I want him to stay in the grade that he's in. Now, to some people that might sound stupid, but Orion is a smart kid, yes. But social, emotional, he's not ready for a 4th grade. He's ready for 3rd grade to be with his peers. So this isn't something that, I'm pushing my own agenda off. No, he's socially, emotionally not ready to be in 4th grade. So I choose to keep him in his correct grade, because I know he can move up. I know he can. I just don't want him to, because he's not ready. And Mr. Coffee was moved up before he was ready, and he suffers from a lot of things due to it. like he's a social outcast and he's, you know, he's not the biggest people person, which you wouldn't think that about Mr. Coffee, but he's really not, which is why he works a job where he doesn't really have to work with people. So she apologized to Orion. She apologized to me. And I was just like, look, you don't threaten all your other students in class. And she goes, but I know he can do better. I want the best from him. And he needs to understand that if he wants to get in college, not reading directions and following directions can be the difference between getting an A and a B. And she goes, where we are, you know, far off from him going to college, is never too late to start prepping them for real life situations. And I'm like, yeah, but if you're prepping them to the point where they're getting anxiety, there might be a mistake with your planning here. Like, you might need to try something else. And she, you know, was like, I do apologize again. She goes, I didn't realize, because at school he seems fine. I'm like, yeah, at school he seems fine. I'm like, I seem fine to you right now, don't I? I'm like, you would never guess that I have bipolar disorder. So you don't know what people do or are suffering from mentally. And for you to constantly tell him that he's not going to be able to go to Coyote Academy, that's like me telling you that you're not going to be allowed to eat that day. And so after getting through that hellacious meeting, because that lasted 45 minutes, before we got to the meeting, though, I took the kids over to the frickin' book fair, because it's back again, because they can't just let me be great. $100 later, the kids got new books. Maggie actually got books that she's read. She's read 3 of them already yesterday by herself. I was very proud. But we go to the book fair to pick them out some books, because I figure, what a better way to grow their book collection than to get some books from the book fair, right? And then all the books that are too little for them anymore, we donate to the local library, because they have story time at the local library here. So, sorry, I'm stretching. You don't need to know what I'm doing back here. But, as you can tell, I'm almost done with Melinda and MooHoo. I hope to have her done this week, but I've been so tired lately, I haven't worked on her a whole lot. I haven't worked on a whole lot of anything a whole lot. So yeah, so the book fair cost me $100 and my credit card. So let me explain. So we're at the book fair, we get the books, we're standing in line. The lady rings up the books and she goes, 107.15. And I was like, okay. Pull out my card and give it to her. She runs the card gets approved. She goes to hand me back the card won't come out of the slot. Card is stuck in the machine. And she's like, uh-oh. And I'm like, uh-oh? You don't want to say uh-oh whenever you have somebody's credit card. Like, what do you mean, uh-oh? She goes, I can't get your card out. What? I look down, and sure enough, my credit card is in the machine, and the machine usually will spit it out. The machine did not spit out my damn credit card. In fact, the machine ate my damn credit card. She hands it back to me while we were in the meeting with Orion's teacher, and she goes, you might want to call your credit card company for a new card. Well, when it went into your machine, it didn't look like somebody with jagged teeth had eaten on it, but okay. So now I have to get a new credit card because my credit card got stuck in the machine. Now let's move on to Maggie's meeting, because I scheduled Orion's meeting at 3:15 and then Maggie's meeting at 3:45. So literally went from one meeting to the next and boom, knocked everything all out. I don't have to leave today. I don't have to put on pants. I can just sit in my house and be irate by the sun. Like, it's sunny out, but it's only 11 degrees today. So, yeah, no. Raped by the sun. I opened up my eye, raped by the sun. Like, it's a hot mess. Don't worry about me. I have a song for everything. I just sit here all day making up little songs in my head for some reason. I don't know. It's just a weird thing I have. It sounded better in my head, though. Execution gets an F, but it sounded a lot better in my head. But yeah, so we go down the hall, way down the hall, to Maggie's classroom. Now, for those of you who don't remember, Orion's in 3rd grade, Maggie's in 1st grade. Minna's in 8th grade. Minna messaged me that morning to let me know she got all A's and B's on her report card. Mommy is so proud of her. Even with mommy being gone, she's still doing good. Not that she couldn't do good without mommy, but you get what I mean. So Minna's doing great in school. Maggie apparently is doing great in school as well. Maggie has the highest math score in her class. Of course she does. And her teacher was like, I know you're proud of this. Yeah, I'm proud of it. Except for the fact, can we talk about her reading? Because, like, the sounding out thing, apparently the teacher did say the sounding out thing is a normal thing, like kids do. But, my big thing was, I told them about, one of my subscribers said about, to help Maggie learn to read, put the closed captioning on, and then turn the TV down. Her teacher said to do the same thing, and I'm like, were you talking to one of my subscribers? And she goes, subscribers? I'm like, oh, nothing, don't worry about it. But Maggie's doing great. The only problem is there's days where she does great, and then there's days where she does not so great. So on the days that she does great, she's above average. Like, way above average. On the days that she's not doing great and she's just kind of sluggish, she doesn't do so well. And the teacher says that the speech therapist and her were talking, and the speech therapist says that it's a normal thing you see with children that have epilepsy. She goes, you might want to talk to your doctor, because it seems like from the outside here, like, she hasn't had any physical seizures. But if the medication stopped the seizures on the outside, did it stop the seizures on the inside? So is Maggie still essentially, having seizures? You're just not seeing them. She goes, there are days where I have to literally have a lot more one-on-one time with her than I would normally have to have with her. So that's another thing we have to bring up to the doctors. Ask him, is that stopping the seizures essentially on the inside as well as the outside? Because I can't have my kid, like, doing great one day and then giving the teacher whiplash and not doing so great the next day. And she goes, oh, but I absolutely love Maggie. She's such a baby doll. And I'm like, is that why you're balding? Because you love Maggie? We're not going to talk about it. So yeah, so Maggie's doing great. Orion's doing great. The kids are all doing great. Minna's doing great. Mr. Coffee is Mr. Coffee, which sucks because then I come home and I had the pot roast in the Instapot. It was cooking all day. Had to get the kids in the tub. I was able to sit down for like an hour before I had to get back up, get the kids in the tub, get the rest of dinner cooked. And Mr. Coffee had called and the alternator had gone out in his truck for work. So he was waiting on that, and he's like, I'm gonna leave out of here, hopefully to be home in time for dinner. Well, he didn't get home in time for dinner. So essentially, for the second day in a row, he got home right as I was putting the kids to bed. And the kids weren't very happy about it, but there's not really a whole lot I can do. This is the life of an oil-filled wife, and one thing you have to do is be accepting of the fact that they have crazy work schedules. And I was a little disappointed because I did put a lot of work and effort into yesterday, and then just to see, I literally saw him for 10 minutes, and he was so exhausted, he just fell asleep on the couch, and I sent him to bed. So I didn't even get to really see him that much. He didn't really say much about anything. He told me thank you for the card and the balloons, because he got card balloons and he got Monster energy drinks, because what a better gift to get your husband than Monster. He loves Monster. He's like obsessed with it. So I got him some Monster energy drinks. I was going to be extra and get him 32 of them, since that's how old he turned. But I was like, no, let me not be extra, because I don't want him looking at me funny sideways. So I got him a case of Monster and a teddy bear and some balloons and a really nice, sweet birthday card, which is hilarious because the lady's like, and sometimes I think I'm moody, or sometimes I'm extra moody, but you don't mind. And I'm like, the hell he don't. I be driving Mr. Coffee insane. There is a lot of black up in her hat. I didn't realize how much black was in her hat. Like, the whole outline of her hat is black. So yeah, so that was Mr. Coffee's birthday. That's how the rest of my week went. It's just a normal week in the coffee house. Like, this is what we do. Now, I'm hoping that, the kids will come home today and they will get their homework done and I don't have to fuss or fight with them about it. And we can have a nice evening, because tonight I should be able to just sit down and relax. I shouldn't have to like do a whole bunch of stuff. So I'm hoping to be able to at least color something, because I feel like I always feel so unproductive when I'm not crafting at home. Like when I'm just sitting here looking at the ceiling or the wall, I always feel so unproductive. And then the dogs look at you with that judgy, what are you doing with your life look? And you're like, don't judge me, dog. I want to sit here and be lazy. Like, I'm not, as the shirt says, I'm not lazy. I'm physically conservative. But I don't have much more to go on Melinda and MooHoo, so I'm really hoping to have her finish by, at least by the end of the weekend. If I actually keep working on it, I can get this section done, and then all I have left is that little part right here. So from here over is all I have left, and this part right here is going to be the biggest pain. I already did a part on the side over here, so this part here is all done. So it's literally, oh, I also got up to about here done at the bottom of this one. But it shouldn't take me too much longer to finish this. And then I'm going to start on my Alina Lazareva diamond painting that I was sent. Oh, I also got a message from Arteza this morning. Oh, you're not even looking at what I'm doing. I got a message from Arteza this morning. They're sending out a Christmas box. So I'll be excited to see what is in the Christmas box. So hopefully you will get excited too. But with that said, I think I'm done. At least with this whip and chat, not with this painting. You ever work on a project and it seems like you're never going to get done? You're like, it's the end of project syndrome. And then when you finish the project, you're just like, what do I do with my life now? Especially when it's a bigger project. Yeah. Oh, one more story before I go. I'll make it quick. So I was driving to take the kids to school this morning. One of my biggest pet peeves when people drive is when they slow down and have to come to a complete stop to turn. I'm like, unless there's a stop sign or something, why are you stopping? Like, keep the flow of traffic going. Why do you need to stop to turn? And there was no traffic coming from the other side, so before somebody says, you know, they're just being careful. Yeah, I understand about being careful. There's being careful and then being just straight up annoying. This guy, I watched this guy this morning, and he's going slow as molasses. He slowly creeps up to the street that I'm on. And then he very gingerly waits until right, and I'm waiting to turn left or right. I'm waiting to turn right. He's coming up from the left. I'm waiting for him to essentially, I'm waiting for him to turn down or to go past me, like in front of me. And why do people have to wait until right before they turn? Like literally they'll stop and then turn their turn signal on. No. I just sat here and waited for you to come down the street for nothing. I was so mad. One of my biggest pet peeves. I can't stand it. I just can't. But with that said, folks, thank you so much for watching. Last question of the video. What is your biggest pet peeve when you're driving? Biggest pet peeve when other people are driving too. Because I know some people don't drive. What is your biggest pet peeve with driving? But with that said, folks, I'm going to have to bid you adieu. If you are new to the channel and have not yet subscribed and are thinking about it, please feel free to hit that subscribe button and the bell to be notified anytime I randomly decide to put up a video. And believe me, it's random. With that said, folks, again, I'm going to bid you adieu. But not before I remind you, like I always try to be kind, be courteous, be cool. Bye, guys.